Welcome back to another video. We are Daniel and Diana, and we share our experiences and tips to help you to plan your next trip.
In today's video, we're sharing our experience exploring Merida, a destination that many people claim is a must-visit on the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. We've heard so much about its stunning architecture, vibrant culture, and delicious food. So we were very excited to visit and had high expectations. And we did encounter a few surprises.
Well, whenever we are traveling to a new destination or a new city, we can't help us to compare it with our past favorites. So in this case, it was no doubt that we're making a video to compare Oaxaca versus Merida.
So join us as we compare these two cities across several categories, including architecture, safety, culinary, day trips, affordability, and overall atmosphere to see how they stack up against each other.
Well, if you are planning a trip to either one of those cities, make sure to stick around until the end as we will tell you which city is our favorite.
Both Merida and Oaxaca have amazing architecture. Merida is known for its grand colonial buildings, reflecting its past under Spanish rule. The city center is filled with well-preserved colonial buildings, painted in pastel colors, with beautiful balconies and tiled floors.
Some must-visit spots to admire the beautiful architecture are the Grand Palace in the city center, where you can see the beautiful San Ildefonso Cathedral. It's one of the oldest cathedrals in the entire Americas continent and the biggest church in Merida. In the same square, you have Palacio de Gobierno, I hope I did pronounce this correctly, which is the government square, a beautiful pastel green colored building.
One of the most beautiful spots in the city is Paseo de Montejo, a 3.2-kilometer boulevard with elegant colonial-era mansions. Make sure to check out the Canton Palace Museum, one of the most photographed buildings in Merida. It's one of the biggest and most iconic grand European-style buildings.
On this street, you can also find the Monumento a la Patria, the monument to the fatherland. It features more than 300 hand-carved figures depicting about 700 years of Mexican history.
There's no denying that Merida has a lot of beautiful old charm architecture, but what we found surprising is that when you venture off away from the city center, there are a lot of areas that look forgotten and have abandoned mansions, and they really don't look too nice.
In contrast, in Oaxaca, it feels like every corner that you turn, at least as a tourist, is beautiful. The architecture is a diverse mix of indigenous, colonial, and modern influences. The city's streets are lined with low, colorful buildings and cobblestone streets. It feels like you're walking inside a rainbow. You're surrounded by vibrant colors.
One of our favorite things about this city was all the incredible colorful street art. Make sure to explore Xochimilco and Jalalaco neighborhoods in the city to admire stunning murals. Some iconic spots in the city are pedestrian-only street Macedonia Alcala, the cathedral in the lively Central Plaza, and the Church of Santo Domingo.
Of course, there are some areas in Oaxaca that are not as beautiful. But to be honest, as a tourist, you most likely will not come across these areas. Overall, both cities have equally impressive architecture. Merida has some standout architectural beauties, but in this category, for us, Oaxaca wins due to its consistency and diversity.
Next up, let's talk about safety. Merida is known as the safest city in Mexico and one of the safest cities in North America, as reported in many articles. It has a very low crime rate and high levels of public security.
So a great way to compare safety in different cities is looking it up on a website called Numbeo. We're gonna link the website actually on the bottom as well, so you can have a look at your city and tell us in the comments actually what you're ranking. But the data from Numbeo looks at the number of crime-related incidences per 1,000 residents and compares over 400 cities across the globe to determine its safety index. 1 is the lowest safety index rating, indicating the area is dangerous, and 100 is the highest rating, indicating it is a safe area to visit.
Merida received a rating of 75 out of 100. In comparison, Toronto, Canada, where we live, received a 56 rating. Major North American tourist cities in the United States like New York, Miami, Los Angeles, and Chicago all received a safety index rating of 50 or below. Walking around in Merida, you can see it takes its title as Mexico's safest city seriously. There are a lot of police officers, the most we've ever seen while traveling in Mexico.
Oaxaca City has a lower safety rating. It is at 59, which is still much higher than a lot of the North American major cities that are below 50. We never really felt unsafe walking on the cities in Oaxaca, but since it is lower than Merida, we give Merida the win in this category.
Food is one of our favorite parts about traveling to new places, and it's often a big deciding factor when we choose our destinations. You can find delicious food in both cities, but there is no debate here that Oaxaca provides a more authentic culinary experience.
Yeah, Oaxaca is often described as the culinary capital of Mexico. And that's truly a foodie paradise. Oaxaca's food scene is more diverse and internationally recognized. The use of local ingredients, the variety in its traditional dishes, and the global recognition through awards and praises from popular chefs make Oaxaca a true foodie paradise. Well, even Gordon Ramsay went to Oaxaca and learned how to make mole. When you talk about food in Mexico, you cannot forget the street food. And street food in Oaxaca is just amazing.
So good.
So good. Our favorite market, the Market Viente de Noviembre, has a so-called I think it's like a barbecue aisle or something. So
Meat aisle.
It's a meat aisle. There is local vendors cooking over open fire. I mean, be warned, it is really, really smoky there, and you definitely have to do laundry afterwards, but it is absolutely worth it.
In Merida, we did have to do a lot of research to find good spots, but Google ratings, which are typically really useful to find good spots, completely failed us in Merida. Even highly rated restaurants had an unusual number of one-star reviews.
And that's also partially because of the service. So in Oaxaca, we were always welcomed with open and friendly service and arms. People were just so welcoming. I must say in Merida, we really had some really bad experiences where servers were kind of pushy, tried to get more tips, complaining that you didn't give enough tip. So we just sometimes felt really uncomfortable actually leaving the table.
Yeah, even in scenarios where food took over 2 hours to be delivered, the waiter was a little bit aggressive in trying to ask for more tips. So the service quality and experience and interactions was completely different in between the two cities from our experience.
So yeah, you guessed right. In this category, we have to give the win to Oaxaca as well.
When comparing the opportunities for epic day trips, both cities have diverse offerings that cater to all sorts of interests, from ancient ruins to natural wonders. Starting with Oaxaca, you have Monte Alban ruins, just a short drive from Oaxaca City. These impressive ruins were once the center of the Zapotec civilization. The site offers panoramic views and a deep dive into ancient history. Hirva el Agua. Known for its petrified waterfalls and natural pools, Hirva el Agua is a stunning natural site where visitors can swim in mineral-rich waters while enjoying breathtaking mountain views.
Teotitlan de Valle, famous for its hand-woven textiles, this village offers insights into traditional weaving techniques and the chance to purchase authentic, high-quality crafts directly from the artisans. El Picacho hike. This hike in the Sierra Norte offers spectacular views and a chance to immerse yourself into the area's natural beauty. And then there's also mezcal tours. Oaxaca is the heartland of mezcal, and visiting local distilleries to learn about the production process and taste different varieties is a must-do in this area.
From Merida, you can visit the Chichen Itza ruins. This UNESCO World Heritage Site is one of the 7 wonders of the world. These ruins are the most popular tourist attraction in Mexico, attracting over 2.5 million visitors every year. Izamal, the Yellow Town. This small town is popular to visit because all buildings are painted in a bright yellow, offering picturesque streets and a rich history, including a monastery that is one of the oldest in the Americas.
Celestune Biosphere Reserve, a sanctuary for flamingos and other wildlife, this coastal reserve offers boat tours that provide close encounters with its diverse bird population. Beaches like Cecil and Progreso, Merida is close to several beaches, with Progreso being the most popular for its long pier and vibrant beachfront promenade. Cenotes like Yal Utzil, the Yucatan Peninsula is famous for its cenotes, natural sinkholes filled with fresh water, and there are many beautiful examples within a short drive from Merida, a perfect swimming and snorkel opportunity.
Both cities provide access to unique experiences that can fill any travel itinerary with memorable adventures. In this category, there's no clear winner. They're both equal in our opinions. It really is about personal preference. Let us know in the comments below, based on what we shared about both cities, which one would you prefer and who do you think is the winner in this category?
So both cities are relatively affordable, especially if you compare them to other touristic centers in Mexico. But let's see which city wins this category if we compare it in different categories. When you talk about accommodation, Oaxaca generally offers a wider range of budget-friendly accommodations compared to Merida, with more hostels, budget hotels, and guest houses with a lower nightly rate. Oaxaca is also well known for its street food. So like we said before, the Mercado Viente de Noviembre offers a meat aisle with amazing food. There's tons of vegetable, fruit vendors everywhere around. So it's easy for you to find some options without actually breaking the bank. You don't have to go to a restaurant every single day. There's tons of Airbnbs as well where you cook for yourself at home.
Both cities have affordable public transportation systems, but Oaxaca's compact city layout means that many attractions and dining options are within walking distance, reducing the need for transportation costs. For trips outside the city, public buses and shared taxis in Oaxaca are also very budget-friendly. Many of Oaxaca's attractions, such as its cultural museums, art galleries, and historical sites, have low entrance fees. Natural attractions like Hierve el Agua are accessible with minimal fees. In contrast, some of Merida's popular attractions like the Mayan ruins and cenotes often involve higher costs for tours and entrance fees, particularly if visiting the well-known sites like Chichen Itza. General living expenses such as groceries and basic services are slightly lower in Oaxaca than in Merida. This difference can be significant for long-term travelers like digital nomads.
So in summary, Merida is by no means an expensive city, especially if you compare it to Tulum or Cancun or Mexico City, the more touristy areas in Mexico. However, if you compare it to Oaxaca, Oaxaca provides you with more opportunities to keep your costs low. There's tons of markets, everything is very accessible by foot, and you do not sacrifice the beauty and the culture that Mexico offers. So if you're a long-term traveler, if you're a digital nomad, Oaxaca does win this category as well.
We visited both cities in December and January, and while both cities host events and offer a great atmosphere, for us, the clear winner in this category is Oaxaca. Now, unfortunately, while we were in Merida, we did unfortunately miss the Sunday market, which we've heard is amazing with local vendors and a great energy. And we have heard that Merida has a lot of cultural events, but unfortunately, while we were there, we didn't really see many.
Yeah, in comparison, in Oaxaca, every single evening when we were out, we stumbled upon a celebration on the street. The city's Zocalo, the main square, is a focal point in the city where they host free cultural performances and events. There was often a show with singing, dancing, instruments, and one evening we actually passed by seeing people dancing salsa on the street, having fun. During the time when we were there, we also saw tons of weddings, and they have this parade in the streets with those huge puppets, and they include the entire community and encourage you to celebrate with them.
Yeah, that was honestly really cool.
Yeah.
The city is also known for its unique parties and lively street scenes, particularly during major festivals like Dia de los Muertos and Christmas celebrations, which are vibrant and inclusive. The reason why we think Oaxaca wins in this category is really because the energy is unbeat. And the Oaxacans are so inclusive and always encourage you to participate in the celebrations that happen on the streets. There's spontaneous musical performances and art installations and parties in the street. It's just such a fun, dynamic, and lively environment, and you're encouraged to participate in it, and it's a lot of fun.
Well, that wraps up our comparison between Oaxaca and Merida. We have covered the stunning architecture, culinary, safety, affordability, day trips, and overall atmosphere of these beautiful, beautiful cities. It is clear that both cities have so much to offer, from its culinary scene, its architecture, and diverse history. But in our hearts, Oaxaca is still the clear winner between those two cities. And it's also worth noting that Oaxaca has won the best city to travel to, wow, in 2023 at the Travel and Leisure magazine.
Yes, Oaxaca really left a lasting impression on us. As you can see, it is a clear winner for us. We were so impressed with the architecture, the lively atmosphere, the amazing street murals, and of course the food. It's still something we're dreaming about. So if you're considering going to either destinations, from our perspective, we really highly recommend Oaxaca. That is our favorite. But truly, you can't go wrong with either one of these cities, and you should consider what resonates the most with you. Thank you for joining our journey of exploring these two cities. We hope this video has been helpful. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Please let us know in the comments below which city you would prefer. We love to hear from you. We will see you in the next one.
Bye.